Alrighty, guys. So we're about to analyze a property, and if you're new to real estate investing, this is the bread and butter of the business. So this particular property, since I can't show you actual wholesalers deals because that's against the agreement, because I don't want somebody on that's watching this to try to reach out to that buyer and get me in trouble since I was the one that signed the NDA. So we're going to pretend that this is a wholesale deal. We're going to pretend that it's for sale for $195,000, and we're going to see if this deal would be a deal, and if not, at what price would it make it a deal. So the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to look at the property's condition photos. Okay, so first, right off the bat, I know that I always like to do granite countertops. So I generally say granite countertops, with sink and install and everything for the typical kitchen runs about $4,500. This kitchen looks a little small, but they don't have a lot of pictures. There might be some additional right here. It looks like there is. So this would probably be a typical-ish kitchen, maybe on a little bit on the small side. So right off the bat, I know that my repair is at least we're going to start with a $4,500 for granite right off the bat. The floor, I'm looking for like pops and bubbles, and I'm basically saying, is it a vinyl or is it laminate? Laminate, if a dog pees on it, it starts to bubble, falls apart, and it's garbage, right? Vinyl is waterproof, life-proof, that kind of thing, right? It's even better, in my opinion, than tile. Tile looks actually that right there. You're gonna need at least they need at least a piece of trim here, but moving on because this house is in pretty good shape. So this right here, from what I can see, I'm not seeing a lot of repairs. But hey, look, we got an accent wall. Some people like them, some people don't. It's black. Probably go with the neutral color. So I can say, hey, look, let's do some paint. I don't know how much paint, the house really needs because they don't have a ton of photos. I'm looking at the floor. The big thing in here on the walk-in shower, if it's a solid one piece, is the floor will start to crack after about 20 years. So here we are in 2025. So if it's a 2005, give or take, if the floor has a crack, like when you step on it, like feel for cracks at the bottom of this, that could put you out, many thousands. Yeah, not okay. So we got something right there. So this wall or this whole area might have to be repainted as well. But yeah, yeah, it's got the newer windows since it's a new-ish house. So basically, look, I got granite, I got some paint. We're always going to throw in some miscellaneous. I might say, hey, look, we got $3,000 in miscellaneous, and then we got paint. Let's just say 3,000 in paint. Look, it's probably over what we need, but that money could go somewhere else if we need. All right. So basically, the second thing we're going to do now is we always make sure that this place, and you can do this first. We always make sure that it is not in the hood. All right. So, and you might ask, well, how do I know if it's in the hood or not? And I'll show you. For one, this is the house. Looks good. I like neighborhoods that look like they could be in an HOA. They don't have to be HOA. But I like neighborhoods that are cookie cutter, solid comps. This is a good example. Driveway's a little steep, but this is a good example of what I look for. Now, how do you know if it's in the hood? Well, I look for cars parked in the front lawn. I look for excess amounts of lawn chairs outside. I look for wheels and tires sitting around all over the place, a bunch of junk, chicken coops, and just all that kind of stuff that you see. Oh, really busy streets. Usually the older neighborhoods have smaller roads, and there's so many cars, it's hard to drive through. It's stuff like that you look for, and a combination of that kind of says, hey, look, would you feel comfortable walking through this neighborhood after sun went down? Ask that question to yourself, right? So you're going to go ahead and here, go back. You're going to look at that. You're going to see if it's in good shape. If you like it, we can proceed to the next thing. The next thing is we're going to run comps. We're going to actually say, hey, look, what do I think this property is worth? What is the ARV? That's after repair value. So we know a granite, let's round it up. I always round everything up. 5,000, paint 3 and 3. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got $11,000 in repairs that I can see. If you're able to go out to the property, As a new real estate investor, I recommend you do that. When you get more confident, you can start buying them online like I do. But things like, hey, the roof, I don't know in this case. Okay. I'm assuming this is good, but I don't know the roof condition, right? I would definitely ask the buyer, the seller, or not the buyer, the seller or the wholesaler. They should know, hey, does the foundation walk flat? That's how you talk to wholesalers. Does it walk flat? How old is the roof? If it's over 5 years old, 5 to 7 years old in Texas, it's probably covered in hail. Probably needs to be replaced. Stuff like that, right? Okay, so the next thing you do is I'm going to remember this is the 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1600 square foot. So I'm going to take the address, and there's lots of different ways to comp a house. This is through one of the ways I use, but there's also other ways like through Redfin, other ways as well. So I'm always going to take off the active. I want to see what the pending and close. Ideally, I'd like to see in 90 days if I can find something. So what we'll do is we'll see what we can find, and I want to stay inside the main neighborhood. I don't want to go like this would be a major road. Obviously, that would be a very major road. I wouldn't look at anything over that. So I've got, yeah, I've got like one, two, three. Was that 4 comps? So 3-2, 3-2, 4-2. So I'm gonna skip that one, and this one's 3-2. So is this? Let's see, 340, 280, 315. Let's click on this one. Oh man, what's that? 3-2, 1650, 1615 square foot, 16. Perfect. All right, very cool. So the very first thing I'm gonna do is this. This one just sold. It's right down the street. It sold for $315,000, and it's almost the same square footage. So I know that the house that I'm looking at here would probably sell for about 315. We're talking about a couple square foot difference. So what I'm going to do is you want to look at the comp, and you want to see at what condition your comp is, because your house needs to look like the comp's house. Does it have granite? Does it have a bigger kitchen? Does it have better floors? Does it have something fancy? Um, it has a bigger kitchen. It has like a little island area. It's got really nice granite. That's an opinion, but I like the granite. Um, yeah, it's got this little bonus spot. This is definitely a better kitchen, like bar none. Matter of fact, this kitchen is so much better that I would say our house is probably not going to be worth what this house is worth, only because it's got the upgraded shower. So I'm kind of in my head, I'm kind of devaluing the house that I'm looking at because I know mine is not going to be to this level. Um, it's an interesting floor. Dislike it, just different. Um, so I don't really know what the backyard of the other house looks like. They didn't have good pictures. So so I know based off of this one, this house is going to be better. Like at the end result, I'm not going to be able to build my kitchen to this size and stuff like that. So I automatically know, hey, if this one's 315, my house is probably going to be like the 300 range. I might list it like 299.9. Okay, so I'm going to write down 299.9, but we've only looked at one. So what I want to do now is I want to compare it with, some of the others as well. So this was a great comp, except for it's a little nicer than mine. That's a 4 bedroom, so I'm gonna skip that one. So we got another one, basically on the same road, just well, catty cornered. So I'm gonna click on this one, and then so this is a 3-2 1796, so it's about the same size as well. But this one's 282. Let's see here. Sold for 282. They had it listed for original list price is 310. Um, good. Okay, all right. So it does not have granite in the kitchen. Okay. And the ceiling fan needs a little TLC there. Yeah, I don't like that tile at all. Okay, so I can comfortably say that the house that I'm looking at, my after result will be nicer than this. You see how we're coming up with the numbers here? So for this purposes, we're just going to stop here and look at these two. Because the first house is too nice, this house isn't as nice or won't be as nice, as you say. So I'm actually comfortable with an ARV of, let's just call it $300,000. So how do we come up with an offer? You take $300,000. This is very important. You're going to do the same math every single day as a real estate investor. Every single day, whether you do flips, whether you do fix and flips, the same math applies. $300,000 is your ARV. That's what you're going to sell the house for. Okay. You're always going to offer 70% of what the property is worth minus repairs. Same formula on every single house. You might be asking, why 30%? Why do you have to have 30%? Well, you got buying costs, you got the title fees, you got selling costs, big ones, selling fees as well. You probably have hard money lending costs as well. Those are also big, 12.99% interest only payments every single month. Plus, you got to float, the property taxes. You've got to float the electricity costs, all the utilities, the lawn care, other stuff, miscellaneous stuff as well. So you're going to have realtor fees 5%, 6% possibly, 3% both sides, or 2 and 3, or 2.5, whatever. So your expenses add up like significantly, like tens of thousands of dollars in expenses, like many tens of thousands. Okay. So that's where that discount comes in, because that's going to absorb all of your cost, or all of it, plus you still need to make some money, right? Like, this is investing, this isn't charity. So 300,000 times 0.7, that gives us 70%, is 210,000. But we're not done. We still have repairs of $11,000 ballpark. So I'm going to put 210 minus $11,000. Now in this case, I'm coming up to $199,000 would be my offer price. Okay. I probably wouldn't offer 199 because I don't have a one in front of it. I'd probably just come out and say, "Hey, look, I can do $200,000 on a house." And guys, it's like me like ordering a hamburger. Like, it doesn't matter. You won't hurt my feelings if you say no, that's too low, or I can't do that. Hey, look, hey, that's what I do. $200,000 on the house. If that number works for you, let me know and we'll make it happen. Like, it's literally that simple when you're talking wholesalers. And you don't have to write up formal agreements. You can send it right to an email. You can call them. You can shoot them a text. I mean, working with wholesalers, it's very informal. It's not near as formal as like working with agents and brokers and all that. So it's hey, it's a numbers game. I'll make offers. Sometimes when I'm in the market and I'm constantly looking for properties, I'll make offers on 5 houses a day, sometimes 0 if I'm not finding anything, and I made offers in the many days before and there's nothing fresh. And then some days I'll make an offer on 20 homes in a day. Like, I'm just looking for all the new stuff that hits the market every single day, all throughout my network of the properties that are off market, discounted through wholesalers. I show you how to do all this and more on my school page. It's SKOOL. I'll send you a link, or actually have a link, not send you a link. I'll have one down below. And the big thing is it's not just information. I don't like selling information. I like selling transformation. And what the school page is you get to learn, okay, to how to do this, and then you get to ask me personally questions as you go. And that's the value proposition. It's not just, here's a course, here's a USB stick it in, hopefully you learn, hopefully you can figure it out. This is, here's the information for the transformation. Oh, and every step you go, if you have questions, when you have questions, ask me and I'll help guide you. When you find a property, you think it makes sense, send me the property, say, hey, this is what I found. This is what I think the numbers are. Can you double check me? And we'll do that back and forth as much time as it takes in order to get you comfortable doing real estate investing. And if you want to get coached by me, be sure to check out the link below for a 7-day all access free pass to check out school.com and see what we're all about. See you guys around.